Good evening. My name is Hope Mkunte, and welcome to this episode of the news report. Now, besides just the news, we do have another special guest this evening. We're going to be talking to Mr. Nelson Mumbi, who is the programs director for African Direction. So the topic of discussion today is how to get young people interested in governance issues. So after the news report, you're going to have to want to stay on and watch that interview. In the meantime, let's head straight into some of the stories that we do have so that we can see what is making rounds both on social media as well as in the local papers. Now, Hakainde Hichilema, the UPND president, has accused ECZ of trying to help PF to rig the 2021 election. That is a trending story, and he did hold a press briefing, but we do have a look at some of the things that he said right here. And also in Kawe, residents of John Howard compound have turned their cemetery into a farming field. Quite interesting there. The lands minister does have some interesting things to say about this development in Kawe. And last but not the least, we'll talk about COVID, where Zambezi East UPND Member of Parliament Kavimba is saying that people are not going to take President Lungu's message about COVID-19 second wave serious because it has a double message. So let's jump right in. Now, I'm sure that if you are on Facebook, you probably have seen the press conference where Hakainde Hichilema, the UPND leader, held a press conference at his house, and many media houses were there. And in this press conference, he did say that he accused ECZ of breeding chaos in the manner in which they're handling the electoral process, especially the registration of voters. One of the things that he says in this press conference is that in some places, ECZ only went there to register people for only 7 days, and then they never went back. Of course, ECZ did react a bit later, and they say that there are processes that they are following, and they will not listen to anyone who is trying to derail them from doing their job. So we'll jump right into some of the things that were talked about in this press conference, as well as just a bit of background, because ECZ did announce that they are only going to extend the voter registration for 4 days. And of course, stakeholders and people are saying even 4 days is not enough, because the target that they want to reach, the number of 9 million people, is not possible within 4 days. So here is a video of Hakainde Hichilema and what he had to say during his press conference.
It can only mean one thing, or indeed two things, but primarily one, that ECZ from the beginning planned to rig this election. That ECZ from the beginning planned to disenfranchise citizens, eligible voters. That's what it means. And what is happening, or what happened yesterday via this announcement, is a confirmation of the suspicions, the speculations that were there from the beginning, that ECZ are conniving with certain stakeholders. ECZ are conniving with certain stakeholders to create chaos, to breed chaos in the electoral process. A process which is basically sits at the apex of a democracy. A process which sits at the apex of a society that believes it is organized through the rule of law. Here is an electoral body against all advice, which decides to proceed by sowing seeds of discontent, seeds of chaos in a country's electoral process. The one process that you wait for a period of 5 years in order to decide as to who manages your country.
Yeah, so that's the video of UPND President Hakainde Hichilema talking about that. Now, just to show you that we are covering both sides of this story, ECZ did react to this video via a phone interview, but we don't have the audio right now, but we do have what they said, and they mentioned that they consult a lot before they make a decision as to whether to extend voter registration or like to do anything really. So they are saying that they are following procedure even in the manner in which they are doing things, and therefore they are being transparent in that they are not favoring any party to win the 2021 election. I know more stories are going to come out because as long as ECZ is around and voter registration is going on, and even as we go towards the election, these stories are going to be in the news, and we'll be here on our live TV on the news report with you along the way, giving you all the updates to keep you abreast of what is going on. Now, when we were growing up, a cemetery was a no-go area. You could play anywhere you wanted to play, but you couldn't go and play at a cemetery. It was sacred, and even when you were walking near a cemetery, like in the evening, you'd actually start running, for fear of ghosts. But apparently, some people in Kawe do not think so. So apparently, John Howard residents in Kawe have turned their cemetery into a farming field. So this is a development that has happened just today when Jean Kapata, the lands minister, was in Kawe, and it was reported that people have cleared shrubs at the cemetery in readiness to plant maize and other plants. Now, the Central Province Minister, Sidney Mshanga, is shocked, and he says he's angry that people can be so disrespectful to take farming at a cemetery. He's actually saying this is wrong and traditional, and he has since called on the council and the police to actually get involved and bring anyone to book who is found farming at the cemetery. If there was ever a time that you can use the phrase "over my dead body," this is the time. These John Howard residents really have no fear. And I don't understand too, because there's a lot of land in Kawe that you can use to farm, and that is one of the things that the lands minister Jean Kapata has actually mentioned. She's saying, why are people so interested in farming at the cemetery? Because it's actually close to town. It's just opposite the Kawe Central Hospital. So we are here to find out why people are so attracted to going to plant maize at the cemetery. I hope that they're not doing it because of the manure, because that would be wrong. But so that is the situation right now. So as of now, the people who had cleared the shrubs and were ready to plant maize have been chased away from the cemetery, and the police have been notified so that those people do not come back. This is quite an interesting story. So I do hope that this doesn't happen anywhere else again. I think that burial grounds are sacred, and as the minister said, they are also traditional and out of bounds for any activities other than laying the dead to rest. Now, talking about COVID-19, Zambia's cases keep increasing, but what is in the news is President Lungu saying that he was going to put more stiff measures if people are not adhering to health guidelines. Now, Zambezi East Member of Parliament for UPND, Brian Kambika, was saying that President Lungu is sending double messages. So He is saying that he's going, to put stiffer measures, or even like put Zambia in a lockdown again if people are not adhering to safety guidelines. But at the same time, PF officials are holding rallies and campaigns, and people are packed like sardines in a Lucky Star can, where there is no social distancing, and they're not wearing masks, and there is no hand sanitizer anywhere in sight. Now, just to give you like a bit of a perspective here, I think that a lot of people, even some of you who are watching right now, only wear your masks when you go to the mall. And we understand like Corona has been here since almost a year now, and people are actually tired. And there's a name for this tiredness. They call it pandemic fatigue. So here is a video that tries briefly to report on what pandemic fatigue is. Check it out.
Zambia has confirmed its first 2 cases of COVID-19.
From the time that Zambia recorded its first coronavirus cases on the 18th of March 2020, the country has seen the number of cases rise up to 16,000 as of October this year. With the number of cases increasing on a daily basis, the country went into a partial lockdown, which saw bars, restaurants, and other public trading places close for business. What followed were countrywide media sensitization campaigns by both the public and private media on what people needed to do to protect themselves from the coronavirus pandemic. The media sensitization messages, crafted with guidelines from the World Health Organization, advised people to stay at home as much as possible, and if they could not do it, to social distance as well as wear a mask whenever they were in public. They were also advised to sanitize their hands or wash their hands thoroughly with clean water and soap. Everyone was complying with these COVID-19 regulations until the president in September announced that schools were to open fully and the bars were to open only on weekends. This new announcement should have prompted people to continue following the COVID-19 regulations, but instead it did the opposite. Instead, there is a rise in the number of people who are not wearing face masks in public. People now only wear the masks when they're about to enter a shopping mall. Like in many other parts of the world, especially in Africa, it seems many people in Zambia are now suffering from pandemic fatigue. This is evident not only from the behavior of people in public, but also from the lack of regular updates from the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Information, who were giving out regular updates both on radio and on TV when the coronavirus pandemic started. This is the current situation right now in Zambia as far as coronavirus is concerned, as many European countries are now bracing for a second wave of lockdown as cases surge. Hope from Hope TV. Thanks for watching.
So that's that about coronavirus, or say pandemic fatigue. And I think that everyone is tired of wearing their mask, frankly speaking. And if you wear glasses like me, like they fog up. So 1, you can't breathe, and then 2, you can't see. But let's keep doing what we need to keep doing, which is washing our hands with an alcohol-based sanitizer for at least 20 seconds, or with soap, and making sure that we are social distancing, not being in crowds as much as we can. I know it's very difficult, especially if you don't have your own transport, you have to go in a bus, but let us make sure that in places where we need to wear a mask, we are also masking up so that we can protect ourselves and the people that we love. We're going to go on a short break, and then when we do come back, I'll be talking to Mr. Nelson Mumbi, who is the programs director for Africa and Directions, and we'll be talking about how to get young people interested and involved in governance issues. Stay tuned.
My name is Dr. Chinema Lupinda, a registrar of urology from the Levi Mwanawasa University Teaching Hospital. You can catch me on Healthline, a medical talk show specially designed to discuss medical conditions affecting you and the community at large. On this show, we'll be bringing specialists in various fields of medicine who will be discussing with all these conditions that affect your health. Catch this show every Thursday at 20 hours on Live TV.
I need to secure my business. I need to make investment. How do I do it?
My son is getting older. He will be in secondary school soon. How do I make sure I have enough money for his school fees?
I need to build a house for my children. How do I do it?
The Mpile Unit Trust, managed by African Life Financial Services, an investment product tailored to help you meet your financial goals. We offer different investment vehicles under the Unit Trust to diversify your income and achieve growth on your money. Your future begins by making a decision to invest with us. Fund managers with a track record of over 20 years. Trustworthy, secure and reliable. For further information on different investment vehicles, call us on 211-254841. Alternatively, you may send an email to mpile@aflife.co.zm. We are located at 74 Independence Avenue, Mpile Office Park.
I have a secret. I like money. I like to make money, to keep money, and to grow money. Join me every week as I have money conversations with some of my favorite money experts.
So I should have my money work for me in a certain way that even if I put a portion of it away, I have some money that is given me.
We talk everything from money mindsets to saving strategies to where to invest your money.
Tell me like 5 things, like quick, that I can invest in with a 500 kwacha.
So you have to then work out what kind of product do I need. And this is where the advice comes in. So you say, what am I trying to achieve? I'm trying to make a 200 pin. How much do I have today? And I've got this, I've got maybe 1,000, I've got a 500 kwacha. What products are available in the market for me to grow my money? And maybe someone would say the stock market can be a channel or vehicle you can use to grow the money.
And then when you do put that value, you now start looking at standing for that value. So if someone says that I'm charging 10,000, they're thinking, oh, 10,000 a lot. No, that's the value. Stand with that value.
Catch me exclusively on live TV.
My name is Dr. Matoomana, a registrar of urology from the Mkunte University Teaching Hospital. You can catch me on Healthline, a medical talk show specially designed to discuss medical conditions affecting you and the community at large. On this show, we will bring in specialists in various fields of medicine who will be discussing with all these conditions that affect your health. Catch this show every Thursday at 20 hours on live TV.
I need to secure my business. I need to make investment. How do I do it?
My son is getting older. He will be in secondary school soon. How do I make sure I have enough money for his school fees?
I need to build a house for my children. How do I do it?
The Mpile Unit Trust, managed by African Life Financial Services, an investment product tailored to help you meet your financial goals. We offer different investment vehicles under the Unit Trust to diversify your income and achieve growth on your money. Your future begins by making a decision to invest with us. Fund managers with a track record of over 20 years. Trustworthy, secure and reliable. For further information on different investment vehicles, call us on 211-254841. Alternatively, you may send an email to mpile@aflife.co.zm. We are located at 74 Independence Avenue, Mpile Office Park.
I have a secret. I like money. I like to make money, to keep money, and to grow money. Join me every week as I have money conversations with some of my favorite money experts.
So I should have my money work for me in a certain way that even if I put a portion of it away, I have some money that is giving me.
We talk everything from money mindsets to saving strategies to where to invest your money.
Looking at standing for that value. So if someone says that I'm charging 10,000 and thinking, oh, 10,000 a lot. No, that's the value. Stand with that value.
Catch me exclusively on live TV.
Okay, so welcome back to the program. And like I said earlier, today I'm talking to a special guest, Mr. Nelson Mumbi, who is the Senior Programs Officer at African Directions. And I'll let him explain what African Directions does for himself. And the topic of discussion for today, we are going to be talking about how to get young people involved in governance issues. Mr. Mumbi, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Hope, and we're glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now, like I said, I think let's start with laying the groundwork for African Directions. What exactly does African Directions do?
Yes, I know once you say Africa Directions, many people know it in the theater circles. Sometimes they think we are just a drama group.
Yeah.
And yes, for those, I know very well. That's a very good marketing way for us, because drama is, our theater is one of our strongest components that we use to reach out to the community. So basically, getting back to your question, Africa Directions is a youth-focused non-government organization that was formed in the year 2000 and has been in existence since then. At the time of its formation, it was basically to contribute towards addressing issues of HIV among young people, because they were quite prominent. I'm sure you will agree with me, going by the demographics that were prevailing then, around the late 90s and early 2000s. The situation was not too good for the country, because even HIV itself, by then, prevalence was over 20% of prevalence, as well as infection rate. So the organization was formed to basically respond to such kind of challenging health issues that were facing young people. So in terms of the focus for this organization, our focus is basically to address issues of sexual reproductive health, which includes HIV, access to services. We also cater the children's rights, because you know, when you talk about issues of SRH, definitely rights come in, so we use that one. The other area in which we are focused on is governance.
Okay.
Yes, because to everything, whichever sector, I talk about the economic sector, social sector, I talk about education, whatever sector, there is always governance processes in there. So that is one of the key areas. Then there's also entrepreneurship, because we believe for us to address some of these issues, you really need to combine those 4 areas for you to respond and see how best do we prepare a young person to move from this point to the other point. Yes, of course, then we know our major focus is basically to provide good health. And we are existing in different areas. The first center was created in Mutendere.
Okay.
Yes, I don't like to slang where I want to make it like sound so English.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Mutendere.
Mutendere.
Yes, that's where the first center was created. Then the second one was opened in Chilenge. Of course, all these openings were in collaboration with the local governments within those specific areas. Because as an NGO, we believe in working with government.
Exactly.
We are not here to reinvent the wheel, but basically to supplement government effort. So that's how we created the second youth center in Chilenge. Then we also had another one created after some years in Mansa.
Okay.
Yes, Luapula province, to be specific in terms of the province. Then we are also partnering with different partners like government ministries, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, Ministry of Health, of course, that's the mother of all health issues, the Ministry of Education, because if you talk about young people, they are mostly, either they are at home, they are in school, or maybe they are basically at the within the community. So those are some of them. Then we also partner with civil society, local and international donors. Even the UN family has been supportive to the organization. So that is basically who we are as an organization.
Okay, wow. You have done quite so much. I mean, the year from the year 2000 up to now,
yes,
I'm sure you have traversed the area of young people. So do you also deal with street kids?
Well, not specifically as street kids, but you know, when you talk about dealing with young people, our primary target, meaning every young person, be it in Kabulonga, be it in Kalikiliki, be it in Chilenge, Chilanga, wherever they are, regardless of their economic status, we deal with them. Street kids as well, we deal with them because they are our client. They fall within the youth or young person's bracket.
Okay.
So basically, we have them as our client.
Okay, I asked you that because if you, I don't know whether you saw this, but some days ago, there was a news item where the Minister of Youth and Sport did take street kids from Kitwe to Katete for skills training, and then a few days later they went back to the street. Yeah, so which is why I wanted to find out in scenarios like that, what was supposed to be like, like the first step taken, because I know it must be difficult just to pick someone from the street to take them, to go and learn and join other people, who are from like normal homes per se.
Okay, To begin with, I think for government to take up such a step, I'm very positive. There was wide consultation. They had engaged different key players for them to arrive at that decision. And the issue of skills development, I'm sure you remember the Kaunda era, where people were going for skills immediately after
like
grade
ZNS
12.
as well.
Exactly, they were going. Personally, the difference that I see between these two skills is that by then, of course, employment was almost available. Yes, today maybe when somebody develops a skill, sometimes they don't secure employment immediately, or again, we are more tailored towards being employed rather than when you're given a skill, you try and divert into just entrepreneurship where you're working for yourself. The other bigger problem that I've seen, which when you see a sad story where they take young people to that place, and then they come out, I don't know, maybe society also may have a role to play, because when people are on the streets, sometimes they feel they tend to make much more money
on the streets,
especially on the streets. And then they don't see the value of getting a skill, because they'll compare between the two. If I'm on the street, I would have picked up a 10 kwacha, I would have picked up a coin, and I would have mopped those. But when I'm seated on the desk, regardless of the process and how you're going to benefit in the future, sometimes they don't see that. Of course, they need to be prepared for such kind of challenges. I'm not saying they are not prepared when they are going into this field, but my only hope is that they are prepared for the challenge ahead of them and the benefit that comes afterwards. So basically, sometimes young people tend to run away because they miss it. That's one. I wouldn't want to talk more about maybe the conditions in which they live in when they are taken to those places, because I may have seen one or two places, but I can't confirm. I can't compare with every other space that is how it is.
Exactly.
But I think there is need, especially for the street kids themselves, to realize that if really they are living in abject poverty, and that's why they find themselves in the street, and then they are given that kind of empowerment, there is need for the street kids, for the young people to embrace that, sacrifice a little, maybe for a number of years, and then you will move. And then again, I don't know how we would do it as a country. Of course, people should have a helping hand, but sometimes the same helping hand is tend to be abused. Hope you agree with me that there are people that you've given on the street. You would want to give them. You give them maybe, but after not even an hour, again you will see them. They wanted food, but they'll keep on getting from everyone. Okay.
Exactly.
We don't know if they even make much more money. For others, they've made it a livelihood. Okay. For others, yes, they are genuinely begging because they have nowhere to run to, and then they need to be helped. So really, it's difficult to judge people who are on the streets based on that. But on the skills part, there is need for us to really help young people from the streets understand the importance of them acquiring a skill, which is going to help them off the streets.
Okay. I do feel like government did a good job. Like they did that in good faith. But let's now jump right into our main discussion, which is young people and governance. What do you say to a young person who says, I'm not going to register as a voter and I'm not going to vote because things don't change?
Okay. Firstly, when you get the word governance, sometimes it sounds so technical. It sounds so big. Okay, but governance on its own, in simpler terms, I love
having
simplifying
a say.
Things. Yes, I love simplifying things. Government, this is basically the laws and processes in which to lead or to influence policy.
Or maybe let me say, like, how do we get young people to know that they have a say in the things that affect them as far as their leaders are concerned? How do we let young people know that they can hold their leaders to account because they put those leaders in those places? So basically, I think like when I'm talking about governance, I'm really talking about young people taking an interest in things that happen in parliament, how decisions that affect them in parliament are arrived at, and also even like taking like an interest in voter registration and also voting itself. Because I'll tell you that I do have people even in my family, who say, I'm not going to register as a voter.
Yeah.
Young people who, you see someone like Rupiah Banda, our former president, he was ill, but he did actually leave the hospital to go and register as a voter. Exactly. So to a young person who says, I'm not going to register as a voter and I will not vote because things don't change. As someone who has dealt with young people for so many years, what do you say? What is the answer to someone like that?
Okay, so picking it from our former president, President Rupiah Banda, I think even in his in the condition in which he was, and he is at the moment, the moment you see somebody rising from the bed where he's sick and going to register as a voter, I think that is motivation enough for young people to realize how important it is to participate in some of these processes. Because for him, he's grown, he's seen much of his life, but he's still eager to contribute. Okay, whoever is voting for, that is his secret. Okay, but he's still eager. So now, how do we get young people to get involved in such kind of things? To begin with, I know we tell ourselves we are a Christian nation. Yeah. So I would love to refer even to the Bible. Okay, if you look at should be 1 Samuel chapter 17. To instead of me quoting that verse, let's just look at the story of David and Goliath.
Exactly.
I think it's a known story.
Of course.
Okay, from that story, if you look at whatever transpired during that process, you're going to realize that there is no war which can be won without the involvement of young people. Because young people are involved physically. Okay, we know, of course, our parents are very important because they carry the wisdom. They've been young people before. They are going to guide us and then tell us how to go about with this war. But for us to actualize that war, look at whichever part of the war in the Bible, mostly it was the young people who were in the forefront, in the battlefront, because they were energetic enough to defeat whoever the enemy it was.
Yeah.
So even for David, he won that not because he had all the power, but I'm sure he had learned from some wisdom on how to bring down Goliath. So for young people, for as long as you realize the importance of getting involved in something, that is the only way you're going to achieve it. It's like if you can't actualize it, you can't. Now, how do you get a young person to get involved in such kind of things? Firstly, there is need for sensitization. As we speak right now, or maybe at every given time of life, you will find some people are hopeless. Okay, not because they wanted to be hopeless, but because of the environment and how it affects them. But I think one question that we don't ask ourselves is that how do I make some positive impact to this if it's a negative environment? Even in positive environments where countries have achieved a lot, there are a number of countries that I think as Zambia we are admiring, they've achieved. Those countries have not been made by the older people.
Yeah.
It's because the young people have been involved with the guidance and the wisdom of the young people. So one, there is need for Zambia to keep on sensitizing young people on the importance of engaging in things like politics. That is a very good governance process, okay? There is need to engage young people. The other way in which we need to do that, other than sensitization, and sensitization has to continue, Brother Hope. The other way is we have to make an enabling environment.
Okay.
Sometimes an environment is so intimidating, especially in a political environment where somebody is unable to speak because they are fearing that once I speak, maybe I may speak something that is not going to sit well with either the ruling or opposition member, and then I may be attacked. So the environment sometimes is not so good. The other way about the environment is that you find that young people are mostly sidelined, okay? Because they are always taken not to have the wisdom, not to have the sense by certain maybe older people. But once you create an enabling environment for young people to engage, then that is one of the areas in which we are going to succeed. The other way in which we have to do it, of course, we have to get involved in civic engagement.
Yeah.
I think civic engagement is very important. Let's help young people understand the importance of doing this or doing that. The same way that our parents engage us at a household level about, for example, the importance of not reporting back home after 18 hours. Okay, they put that through and they will explain it. Then they will tell you, okay, the importance of sharing food, for example, and then you understand. It is the same way that we need to engage young people into getting to know some of these civic processes and how important they are to national development.
Okay.
The other part that I would mention to you, maybe this one could be the last part, although there are so many other parts, is capacity building.
Okay.
Okay. Young people lack capacity. They will talk about, I'm sure like you've earlier gave an example. Somebody has just lost hope. Say, I can't vote because the party feel change.
Yeah.
Okay. They've lost hope. So now, how do you start building capacity into that person? They have to be made to realize that yes, even the previous time when, for example, if it's voting, the previous time that we voted based on this. Okay. Now, if it does not happen, we need to ask ourselves, okay, where have we gone wrong? Okay. Or maybe if it has, it may take a long time for us to see the results. We also need to remind ourselves, okay, such kind of development takes a bit longer.
Yeah.
Okay. Or if we have failed, failure is important. Failure is just part of life. Failure is part of our society. It actually defines our future. If you've never failed, sometimes it's difficult to move forward. Okay, so young people need to have their capacity built on how best they can take on such kind of situations and how best they can become very good leaders. Okay, of course not political leaders, but we're talking about governance leaders, because there is a line between politics and governance, which most of the people, and I've noticed both in ruling and opposition, if you talk about politics, they fail to draw a line between what is governance and what is politics.
Exactly.
Okay? That is why some people have been attacked for raising a governance issue. They've been attacked by a political party.
True.
Okay, so we need to draw a line, and young people, once their capacity is built, they'll get to understand where is the line. Okay, how do we go about it? Of course, some governance issues may have a political element, because sometimes it may not sit well with the powers that be.
Of course.
But basically, that's how it is anyway.
Yeah. Not to cut you short, but we're going to go on a brief break. And when we do come back, I want to find out from you some of the challenges, that you think hinder young people from taking an interest in governance issues. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
My name is Dr. Matoomana, a registrar of urology from the Mkunte University Teaching Hospital. You can catch me on Healthline, a medical talk show specially designed to discuss medical conditions affecting you and the community at large. On this show, we will bring in specialists in various fields of medicine who will be discussing with all these conditions that affect your health. Catch this show every Thursday at 20 hours on Live TV.
I need to secure my business. I need to make investment. How do I do it?
My son is getting older. He will be in secondary school soon. How do I make sure I have enough money for his school fees?
I need to build a house for my children. How do I do it?
The Mpile Unit Trust, managed by African Life Financial Services, an investment product tailored to help you meet your financial goals. We offer different investment vehicles under the Unit Trust to diversify your income and achieve growth on your money. Your future begins by making a decision to invest with us. Fund managers with a track record of over 20 years, trustworthy, secure and reliable. For further information on different investment vehicles, call us on 211-254841. Alternatively, you may send an email to mpile@aflife.co.zm. We are located at 74 Independence Avenue, Mpile Office Park.
Welcome back to the program, and this is the news report with Hope Mkunte. And today, as you have been watching, I have a special guest, Mr. Nelson Mumbi, the Senior Programs Officer at African Directions. And we are talking about how to get young people involved in governance issues. And we're also going to be looking at some of the challenges that young people face when they want to get involved in governance issues. Welcome back, Mr. Mumbi.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so like I've said, can you help me with some of the things that you think hinder young people, from taking an interest, like in governance issues? And these issues could be, things that happen in Parliament, or even things like approaching their like councillor or their local area leader if they see that there's something wrong.
Okay, I think some of the challenges that are hindering such kind of process to take place is the failure to know the rights and responsibilities of a person in a particular environment. If really young people knew their rights and their contributions to such kind of processes, like if things are not happening maybe in their communities, like how to approach or maybe how to engage their councillor, their ward development committee, if there is, and or member of parliament. For as long as they knew their rights, they were going to get involved. And the other part is responsibility. If you know it is your responsibility to contribute to your development of your own community, then that one definitely nothing will stop you from engaging whichever leader. But of course, there should be a way in which you have to engage. Sometimes people take it immediately into protesting, but I think it's important you engage in a more cordial manner. You advocate, okay, or you basically start by advocating or lobbying. Anyway, you may use such kind of terminologies, but that's what you need to engage in. The other challenge I think that hinder young people mostly, like I earlier alluded to, is the environment. If it's not enabling, okay, young people tend to back out. If there's violence, for example, you don't even Mr. Hope, I don't think you'll feel you'll find it easy to engage when there's it's a violent environment. But again, the third one, which I may say, is the failure is sometimes people not having the capacity to engage.
Okay.
Yes. So those are some of the pointers which I can refer to.
Okay. I think that one of the things that you've mentioned, you're saying that young people don't know their responsibilities in terms of, I think I gave you an example where we're talking about, let's say, if you're in an area, you're a young person, and they know maybe like there's a bridge that needs to be worked on. And like if it bothers you so much, and then you don't have the courage to approach your councillor or maybe even like your MP, it's good that you have brought out that point, because I think that also leaders have a role to play in letting young people know that they are available and they are open, and that young people can approach them for any of their problems.
Yeah, I think maybe just another point, but I hope one part which sometimes I feel community is taken for granted is that we fail to engage with the leadership because we have no reference point. Okay, where you've not signed anything with the leader, so that even if you go to complain, say for example, we say there is no bridge here, the leader will point to something else. Look, yes, there is no bridge here, but it's because we've been working on a school. Okay, I'll give you an example of we worked on a project in partnership with Plan International Zambia. It was called Child and Youth Friendly Cities. We did it in Kalikiliki, Mutendere, and Chivolia. The actual Chivolia, the notorious Chivolia. Yeah. Yes. But with this one, for us, what we did was after building capacity of young people in the community, okay, then they went and they signed social contracts. For Mutendere, they signed with Councillor Mtonga, a social contract, the current saving councillor for Mutendere. They signed a social contract and they identified issues where they wanted him to focus, and he agreed. And I'm very positive. Come elections time, he will be judged based on a document that will be. So even when they're engaging him, whenever they've seen that there's something lacking, they'll just go with the document. Exactly. How far have we gone with this? Sure. Equally in Chivolia, okay, Councillor Sakala signed a contract, okay, social contract with the community in Chivolia. Okay, and for him, even there, if young people want to question him, they will have to go with a document. Over councillor, Tafika party, one of my issues are particular, and they will have to explain. But for us, sometimes development failed to move, and we failed to speak because we have no reference point. They will come and just bring out political issues, promises, and the like verbally, and you have nothing to refer to.
Indeed. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Nelson Mumbi. This has been the news report, and on this segment of the interview, I've been talking, we have been talking about how to get young people involved in governance issues, as well as some of the challenges that they face when they want to get involved in governance issues. On the news part of the program, we did take a look at HHR reacting to ECZ extension. We also did take a look at the people in John Howard in Kawe turning their cemetery into a farming field. My name is Hope Mkunte. Until next time, this has been the news report. See you.